starting to think the filmmakers are just running out of material for this show. Hey movie watchers, welcome to today's review of Stranger Things Season 3. If you're new to this channel, we go synopsis, my likes, my dislikes, then the breakdown, where I give individual scores for the writing, acting, cinematography, and directing. And all my reviews do have some spoilers in them, so you have been warned. Okay, movie watchers, let's review. Season 3, so it's summertime, and the living is looking like it's pretty easy. And Season 3 really just focuses on the relationships and the dynamics of all of the characters. Billy gets attacked and turned into some kind of like satellite of the Demogorgon, or the Mind Flayer, and basically just starts going around turning other people. Then you have Max, who teaches Eleven that all boys are stupid, and they're all liars, and girls don't need boys, and they just go shopping. Nancy gets mistreated by every single white male in the office, while Jonathan is just kind of there without really a whole lot to do. Dustin discovers a Russian radio broadcasting code that Robin cracks in about a day, and they ultimately discover that Russians are reopening the gate. Nobody knows why they are. They just are. You've got the Mind Flayer that's creating a bunch of other little satellite Mind Flayers, and nobody knows why. Again, it just is the way it is. Demogorgon comes back, tries to kill Eleven and all of her crew, but Hopper and Joyce shut down the energy machine, or whatever it's called, that the Russians were using to reopen the gate. Hopper's fate is unknown. I don't know what happened to him. And Billy, I think, dies, but I can't fully be sure. And everyone else lives. Some of them move away, and that's basically what happens in the movie. I mean, the show. Basically what happens in the show. Starting with my likes, the only thing that I actually liked about the season were some of the character dynamics and the relationships and the things they went through. Mainly Hopper and Joyce's dynamic. They argue about everything, all of the time, like a bickering old couple. Dustin and Steve's dynamic was very brotherly, very caring. And Steve and Robin's dynamic, where basically they become like best friends through all this. And all this season really had to offer us, or at least had to offer me, was the dynamics and the relationships, the relationship building of the characters. Everything else I think was meaningless, completely boring. That's it for my likes. Moving on to my dislikes. Dislike number one, and really the only big one that's important, I feel like the filmmakers just ran out of material completely. So they threw a bunch of today's social politics into like an 80s themed TV show. I mean, was there really Russian meddling in this show? Like, really? Russians secretly infiltrated Hawkins, built an underground bunker that probably cost millions and probably took months, but nobody noticed. Also, they could reopen the gate because why? Because they're Russians? And they just like meddling in other countries' affairs? I mean, that's just pointless writing. It literally is pointless. Then you have Nancy, who she's just humiliated to no end because white men are mean and look down on women. There's like not really any substance here. They're just mean to her. And Jonathan doesn't really do anything in like the whole season. He's just barely a supporting character. Max decides to educate Eleven on boys and teach her that boys are dumb and stupid and they're always lying, and that there's just so much more to life than boys, like shopping. Yeah. And then Will, who was like a major character in the first two seasons, he's only in season 3 so that the hairs on the back of his neck can stand up whenever the Mind Flayer or the Demogorgon gets close by. That's it. All he does in the entire season is sense when danger is close. Billy is only in the show so that he can basically look hot to some older women, and so the Mind Flayer can make him a pawn. And then so he like, I could seriously go on and on with every single character in this show. The season was like, it was pointless. I can literally sum up the entire season in a single sentence. Russians reopen the gate and the Demogorgon tries to kill Eleven and all of her friends, but Hopper and Joyce close the gate just in time. Boom. That's what happens in season 3. Nothing exciting. The whole plot of this season just feels very, very weak. So I'm really hoping that season 3 is actually just kind of a lull in the show where like maybe they needed to set up for some good material in season 4. I really hope so, okay? Like fingers crossed, because if season 3 is how the direction of this show looks, it's not going to be very good. It's not going to go very well. Movie watcher question. I personally thought this season was kind of a total bust, a total waste. So I want to know what your predictions are for next season. What do you think season 4 is going to look like? Do you think every season is just going to be like this back and forth where someone opens the gate and then they have to close the gate and then someone opens the gate again and they got to close it again? Because so far that's what we got. Do you think Hopper is dead? Do you think he's on the other side of the gate? Maybe still alive? Possibly get a chance to come back? Do you think Eleven gets her powers back, or do you think she's just stuck without them? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to talk to you guys about what you think is going to happen next season. Okay, movie watchers, here's the breakdown. I'm giving the writing a 5 out of 10. I think the plot is really weak. I think it's really weak, and the only thing that actually saves this season for me is the character dynamics between very few of the characters. The acting is getting a 7 out of 10. I think these kids actually do a wonderful job for the most part. I am starting to have some doubts about some of them as they get older and they kind of progress. I expect them to get better as they get older, but I'm not sure that's happening for all of them, so I'll be interested to see how they do in season 4. The cinematography is getting a 5.5 out of 10 because I don't think there is really anything to comment here either way. Nothing really good, nothing really bad. I am giving the directing a 6 out of 10. I do think there were some really good moments in the show, but ultimately I think it was kind of boring, at least for me. Overall, Stranger Things Season 3 is getting a 5.5 out of 10 from me. I do think it's watchable. I didn't find it very interesting, but I do really enjoy the characters, their relationships, and the dynamics between them. Thank you for watching. I've got more reviews and discussions coming your way, so check back soon for those, and I'll see you on the next one.